Hi everyone, this is Neha Ketkar. Today we are going to talk about an important issue in the Indian economy, that is the jobless growth. So basically, even though India is growing really fast, the growth is not translating into enough jobs, and that's exactly where the problem lies. So India today is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We are seeing GDP growth of around 8%, which is pretty strong, as well as we have a massive labor force of around 610 million labor force. But at the same time, we can see that the youth unemployment is close to 10%. So there's this clear gap between economy that is growing, but the jobs that are not growing at the same pace. And that's exactly what we call the jobless growth or the paradox. That's where the paradox lies. So what exactly is jobless growth? It's when GDP increases, but employment doesn't increase proportionately. Now in India, this is happening mainly because of how our economy has grown in the past. So let's take a look back. A lot of our growth has come from IT and finance. Even though they are great for GDP, they just don't create large scale jobs because of the skill requirement, especially. At the same time, manufacturing, which is supposed to absorb a lot of the workers, is actually quite weak. It is just at 11% of our total workforce of India currently working as well. And there's the skill mismatch at the end. So a lot of graduates have degrees, but not the ones required in the market or the ones the companies actually want. So if you look at it simply, India moved from farm to offices, but it just skipped factory stage directly. So what is the structural impact, the structural problem and the impact or the crisis? This creates a structural problem, which is that economy develops, but people move out of agricultural into manufacturing and then services. But in India, a large number of people are still stuck in agriculture, and the income compared to the number of proportion they are working in is not that high. So, on the other hand, services require higher skills, but not everyone can move into the jobs as well. Because of this, we see things like youth unemployment staying high and unemployment being even higher than the average. So there's also a problem of rising inequality, the missing manufacturing base that is absorbing workers that leave agricultural as well, and basic percentage of stable salaried jobs. And this is also puts our demographic dividend at risk as well, because we have a young population, but we just don't have enough jobs for them. So how do we fix this issue? So, firstly, what we need to do is we need to focus on manufacturing, especially labor intensive sectors like textiles and electronics. That's where large scale jobs can be created. And secondly, skill development is really important because not about education, we have to ensure that the people are job ready. Third is the MSMEs. So, small and medium businesses, micro, small, and medium enterprises need support because that's where exactly they can create the huge number of jobs and opportunities for youth as well. So if we look at it over time, in the short term, we need to focus basically on the skills and MSMEs. In the medium terms, we need to focus on the manufacturing. And in the long term, the changes need to be in the educational reforms. So what are the obstacles faced? None of this is easy. It is very easy to say we need to make these changes, but there are many issues or obstacles that or barriers that have to be faced while taking these measures as well. So it could be the policy delays, bureaucracy, and basically the persistent skill gap that India is still facing. India is competing globally, especially with China, in terms of manufacturing. So growth alone is not enough. We need to create demand, we need to create the employment, we need to create the jobs. So for India to truly develop, economic growth has to translate into economic opportunities that lead to employment opportunities. Lastly, the path is to inclusive growth. India is not at a India is at a really important stage right now. We have a young population. It has a growth potential and a big opportunity ahead. So the real challenge is turning that growth into real jobs as well. So because growth without jobs isn't real development. And solving this is going to be the key to India's future and its standing in the global market and world. Thank you.